December 21st, 2014, from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It was the Indianapolis Colts at the Dallas Cowboys. And the Cowboys would get the ball first, and they would start off on their own 20 after the kickoff. They're then faced with a 2nd and 8 from the 22. Romo hit Dez Bryant for a 9-yard completion and a first down at the 31. Then on 3rd and 2 from the 39, Romo went to Jason Witten for a 2-yard reception, a first down at the 41. Then on 2nd and 11 from the 40, Romo scrambled for the first down with a 13-yard pickup that brought the ball into Colts territory at the 47. They're then faced with a 3rd and 11 from the 48, and Romo hit Dunbar. It was a 4-yard loss, but a taunting penalty against the Colts would make it a first down for the Cowboys on the Indianapolis 37. DeMarco Murray then ran for 11 yards to make it a first down on the 26. Then on 2nd and 6 from the 22, Romo hit Jason Witten for a 17-yard reception and a first down that would make it first and goal on the 5. Murray then ran for a yard, and on 2nd and goal from the 4, Romo hit Bryant for a 4-yard touchdown pass, but an illegal motion penalty against the Cowboys would bring the touchdown back and push them back to the 9-yard line to replay the down. 2nd and goal from the 9 out of the shotgun. Romo goes to Williams this time for the 9-yard touchdown pass and the first points of this game to make it Dallas 7, Indianapolis 0. So now the Colts will get the ball on their own 20 after the kickoff with about 6.5 minutes left in the first. They would end up going backwards, and they would end up punting from their own 19 after 4 plays. So they went 3 and out, actually. So now the Cowboys would get the ball on the Colts 19, because after what happened actually was on the punt, the Colts went for it. It was a fake punt, and they ended up turning the ball over on downs. So now the Cowboys had it on the Colts 19 to begin their possession in the red zone. Romo dropped back to pass, and he hit Dez Bryant for a 19-yard touchdown pass, and the Cowboys were now up by 2 touchdowns with the score Dallas 14, Indianapolis 0. So now the Colts got the ball on their own 20 after the kickoff, and there was about 4.5 minutes left, and they ended up going 3 and out. This time they actually did punt it, as they did not go for the fake punt, as that did not work out too well for them last time. And now Dallas would take over on their own 25 after the punt with less than 3 minutes left in the first. They actually got into Indianapolis territory when on 2nd and 5 from the 30, Dez Bryant caught a 24-yard pass from Tony Romo that brought the ball to the 46. Then Randall ran for 11 yards to bring the ball to the Colts 35. And on 2nd and 8 from the 33, Tony Romo hit Randall for a 7-yard reception that would bring the first quarter to a close. So after 1 quarter of play, the score was Dallas 14, Indianapolis 0. So now to begin the second quarter was 3rd and 1 on the 26 of Indianapolis for the Cowboys. Randall picked up 2 in the first down that brought the ball to the 24. And on first down from the 24, Tony Romo dropped back to pass, and he hit Cole Beasley for a 24-yard touchdown pass that made the score Dallas 21, Indianapolis 0. So now the Colts would get the ball on their own 18 after the kickoff, and they would go 3 and out yet again, as they failed to pick up any first downs in this game at this point, and they would punt from their own 25. So now Dallas would have the ball on their own 33 after the punt with 13 minutes left before halftime. They were faced with a 2nd and 9 from the 34. Tony Romo dropped back to pass, and it was Witten, as Jason Witten caught the 20-yard pass, and it was now a first down on the 46 of the Colts for the Cowboys. They were then faced with a 2nd and 9 from the 45. Romo hit Dunbar for a 14-yard reception that made a first down on the 31. Then on 2nd and 1 from the 22, DeMarco Murray picked up 3 yards. That was after a 9-yard run on the previous play. Then he picked up another 8 yards on the next play, and then 1 yard, and that made it 3rd and 1 from the 10. Tony Romo dropped back. He hit Witten, and it was now a 9-yard reception that made it first and goal on the 1. They gave it to DeMarco Murray. He punched it in from a yard out for the touchdown, and the Cowboys were now up by 4 touchdowns with the score Dallas 28, Indianapolis 0. So now the Colts would get the ball on their own 20 after the kickoff with 6.5 minutes left in the second quarter. They would pick up a first down or two, but it ended up with a punt after 6 plays from their 38. So now Dallas would take over on their own 33 with about 3 minutes left before halftime, and they actually went 3 and out, which was a rarity here in the first half, their first time going 3 and out. First time they didn't score. And so now Indianapolis would get the ball after the punt, and it was less than 2 minutes on the clock in the first half. They ended up picking up a first down on 3rd and 9 from the 26 when Luck hit Nix for a 13-yard reception that brought the ball to the 39, and then Luck hit Heron for a 22-yard pass that brought it to Dallas territory for a first down at the Dallas 39. And then on 3rd and 6 from the 35, a penalty against the Cowboys for defensive holding made a first down on the 30. And then on 2nd and 2 from the 22, Andrew Luck dropped back to pass, and he was intercepted by Wilcox. And so the Cowboys got the ball, but that was it. There was no time on the clock in the first half, and so the first half came to a close with the score Dallas 28, Indianapolis nothing. So now to begin the third quarter, the Colts will get the ball first. They had on their own 20 after the kickoff to begin the first possession of the second half. They're then faced with a 2nd and 6 from the 24, and Andrew Luck dropped back to pass out of the no-huddle in the shotgun, and he was intercepted by Hitchens. And so now the Cowboys would take over in Indianapolis territory on the 19 in the red zone to begin their first possession of the second half. They weren't able to pick up a first down, though. Tony Romo was actually sacked on 3rd and 14 by Jones for an 11-yard loss, and out came Dan Bailey to attempt a 52-yard field goal. It was up, and it was no good. So the score remained Dallas 28, Indianapolis 0. So now the Colts had the ball on their own 42 after the missed field goal. They would go 3 and out and punt from their own 46. So now the Cowboys took over with 11 minutes on the clock in the third, and they would end up getting the ball from their 25. They moved it, they picked up some first downs, they got to midfield and into Indianapolis territory. They were faced with a 2nd and 3. Romo hit Witten for a 10-yard reception that brought the ball to the Colts 24. And then on 2nd and 11 from the 25, Tony Romo dropped back to pass, and it was Witten as he hit Jason Witten for the 25-yard touchdown pass to make it 35-0. Cowboys over the Colts. So now the Colts would get the ball. They had it on their own 20 with a little less than 5 minutes left in the third, and they would get to midfield. At this point, they actually had Matt Hasselbeck in the game. It was so out of reach that they took Andrew Luck out of the game. They didn't want to risk an injury when they were down by 5 touchdowns, even though there was just under 20 minutes left to play. So Matt Hasselbeck under center. They said they picked up a first down. They were then faced with a 4th and 3 on the Indianapolis 38, and a defensive pass interference call against the Cowboys made a first down on the Indianapolis 48 for the Colts. Hasselbeck was then sacked by Skandrick, and Skandrick forced the fumble. Selvi recovered, and now it was Cowboys ball at midfield on the Indianapolis 49 with just over a minute left in the third. On 2nd and 7 from the 46, Romo hit Dez Bryant. He picked up 10 yards and a first down that would bring the ball to the Indianapolis 36 as the third quarter came to a close with the score Dallas 35, Indianapolis nothing. So now the Cowboys open up the fourth quarter with the ball on the Colts 36, and they would bring the ball to the 27. They had a first down. Romo actually scrambled for 7 yards and a defensive holding penalty brought to the 26, but then after losing a yard on first down, an incomplete pass made it 3rd and 11 from the 27, and Randall fumbled the ball. He was blown up by Butler, and DeQuell Jackson recovered for the Colts. So now the Colts had the ball on their own 15 with less than 13 minutes left in this game, trailing by 35. They actually went 3 and out on the possession, and they would punt the ball to the Cowboys. So now the Cowboys took over with less than 12 minutes on the clock, and they had it on their own on the Colts 47. And on 2nd and 6, Randall got stuffed for no gain. That brought up 3rd and 6 from the 43, and that's when Brandon Weeden, who had now been under center for this possession, as Romo had also been pulled from the game, Weeden dropped back to pass, and he hit Terrance Williams for the 43-yard touchdown pass that made it 42-0, Dallas over Indianapolis. So the Cowboys were going for a shutout here with just over 10 minutes left to play. Now the Colts will get the ball on their own 22 after the kickoff. And on 2nd and 12 from the 20, Hasselbeck went to Nix. It was incomplete, but a face mask against the Cowboys made a first down on the 35 for the Colts. Hasselbeck then went to Doy for a 10-yard pass and was a first down on the 45. Hasselbeck then went to Coley Fleener for a 17-yard pass and a first down at Dallas territory at the 38. Then on 1st and 10 from the 33, that was after a penalty against the defense. But Hasselbeck then hit Nix for a 10-yard pass and a first down at the 23. Hasselbeck was then sacked by Wilbur for a 7-yard loss. That made it 2nd and 17. Then hit Fleener for a 7-yard pass, and then an incomplete pass would bring up 4th and 10 from the 23. Hasselbeck dropped back. He was intercepted by Carr, but there was a pass interference call against the Cowboys. So instead of an interception, it would be 1st and goal on the 1 for the Colts. And with 5.5 minutes left to play in this game, Matt Hasselbeck dropped back and he hit Tipton for a 1-yard touchdown pass as the Colts finally put points on the scoreboard. And the Cowboys just missed the shutout against Indianapolis as the score was now Dallas 42, Indianapolis 7. So now the Cowboys would take over with less than 5.5 minutes left on the clock. They had it on their own 20. They actually went 3 and out on this possession and punted from their 29. So now the Colts would take over with over 3 minutes left to play, down by 35 points. They had it on their own 22, and they would end up bringing this game to a close in Dallas territory in the red zone. They weren't able to put any more points on the scoreboard, and the final score, Dallas 42, Indianapolis 7. So the Cowboys win this game, and they effectively win the East with a record now of 11-4. They're 4-4 at home, 500 on the season in Jerry World. And the Colts are now 10-5, 4-3 on the road. So they're going to win the South, but they already clinched the division title, and they're going to be in the playoffs, but it looks like they're not going to get a bye, although if Denver wins tomorrow night on Monday Night Football, that definitely will be a bye for the Broncos and the Patriots, who then just have to see who's the number 1 seed. The Colts are going to be playing in Wild Card Week, but they will be hosting a game. But in this game, Tony Romo was 18 for 20 with 218 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. He also had 28 yards rushing off of 3 carries. Andrew Luck was 15 to 22 with 109 passing yards and 2 interceptions. Matt Hasselbeck actually threw more yards than Andrew Luck as a reliever, if you want to call him that. I guess you call him a reliever, even though this isn't baseball, it's football. But Hasselbeck was 15 for 21 with 126 yards and a touchdown. So he actually put up better numbers than Luck. Who would have thunk it? And so the leading rusher in this game was DeMarco Murray with that broken hand. He had 22 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. Not his typical performance, but it was enough for the Cowboys to blow out the Colts, that's for sure. The leading receiver in this game was the tight end Jason Witten. That's right, it was Witten, as he had 7 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown. Dez Bryant had 5 receptions for 73 yards and a touchdown, and Terrance Williams had 2 receptions for 52 yards, and both of those receptions were for touchdowns, as he had 2 touchdowns in this game. And Cole Beasley had 2 receptions for 29 yards and a touchdown. The leading receiver for the Colts was Akeem Nicks with 9 receptions for 72 yards. And on defense, the game's leading tackler was DeQuell Jackson of Indianapolis. He had 11 tackles. And the leading tackler for the Cowboys was Anthony Hitchens. He had 8 tackles. The Cowboys combined for 2 sacks in this game, as Skandrick and Wilbur each had a sack. And the Colts had 1 sack. That went to Jones. And the only interceptions was for the Cowboys. They picked off Luck twice, as Wilcox and Hitchens each had tackles in this game. And Luck actually had 2 tackles. But he had more tackles than he had touchdowns. So that's pretty rare for Andrew Luck, actually, to have more tackles. And the final score, Dallas 42, Indianapolis 7.